Okay, let's get into it. No matter how hard you look, you cannot see radio waves, but they're all around us all the time. There's music and voices and baseball broadcasts. It's constantly all around us. The signal, but we can't see it till we turn the radio on, tune it to the right station, and suddenly the thing that was invisible becomes audible. It was there the whole time. We just weren't tuned into it. The signal didn't suddenly appear. The signal was there all along. The fact that we couldn't see it didn't mean that it was absent. And Peter writes about something similar here in 1 Peter 1, 8 to 9. Though you have not seen him, you love him. Though you do not now see him, you believe in him and rejoice with joy that is inexpressible and filled with glory, obtaining the outcome of your faith, the salvation of your souls. Peter here says, though you, the people he's writing to, haven't seen him, you haven't witnessed him. You weren't walking with him in Galilee. Even though you didn't see him, you love him. It's easy to kind of read past those words, maybe because they describe us too. None of us have physically seen Jesus. He's writing to people who believed as a result of the witness of other people. We also have never heard his voice with our ears. We never watched him teach beside, the Sea of Galilee, to see him heal the sick. And yet Peter says these believers that he's writing to, that they loved him. How? Because faith is built on knowing who Jesus is, not simply on seeing him with our eyes. And Peter says, though you don't now see him, you believe in him. Notice the words you do not now. Peter isn't talking about a single moment. He's describing the entire Christian life. There are seasons when God feels close, and maybe the Bible comes alive, and prayer is joyful and naturally flowing all the time, and God's presence feels obvious. And then there are other seasons when none of that is true. You pray, but it feels like there's a distance. And you obey, but maybe life becomes even harder as a result. And you ask God for direction, but the answer doesn't come the way that you want it to. And in those moments, it's really easy to wonder, like, is Jesus really with me? Am I crazy? And Peter says that Jesus is real, that Jesus is alive, that Jesus is our hope and our salvation, not because our circumstances prove it, not because our emotions always confirm it, but because Jesus has already proven his faithfulness. And these believers, they'd never seen Christ, and yet they had every reason to trust him because of what he had already accomplished through his death and resurrection. And the same is true for us. Our faith is not sustained by seeing Jesus every day. It's sustained by remembering who he has shown himself to be in history. His death, his burial, and his resurrection is witnessed by so many people. And that's why Peter says that they rejoice with a joy that's inexpressible. It isn't pretending that life is always easy. Remember, he's writing to people facing suffering. And their joy isn't rooted in their comfortable circumstances. It's rooted in Jesus, in the trustworthiness of Jesus. And so the question is, when life becomes confusing, what do we trust the most? When it's difficult, when it's painful? Do we trust our feelings, our circumstances, or do we trust the character of God? It's really easy to trust Jesus when everything is going well. Our faith grows when we continue trusting him even when we can't see what he's doing. And like the radio signal, sometimes his presence, we don't see it, but it's no less real simply because it's unseen. He's still leading, he's still working, he's still keeping his promises. And the beauty is that one day our faith will become sight. Someday we will see him face to face. For now we see dimly, as in a mirror. Now we have faith. We trust on the witnessed accounts. We trust in God's preservation of his word. We trust in the experiences that we have had of him at times, especially in those good seasons. And there's that faith that sustains us. And sometimes, though, it's more difficult than other seasons, but someday we will see him face to face. And so don't lose heart. Believing in what you can't see doesn't mean that there aren't going to be seasons of doubt. But we press through that doubt. We trust. We ask for more faith. And we wait for the seasons when he shows up powerfully again. Wherever you find yourself, God goes with you today.